Previously on Balls.
Roger Desar?
Yes.
There you are, Roger. I knew you'd come on, mate. We've been trying you for a little while. Roger, mate, great win last night. I mean, not great win, but a very, very important win, I thought, for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Just good to get the 3 points and get on the board. Seeing everybody else getting points and running away, it's important to try and stay in touch.
Yeah, mate.
It was nice to play back in the PSL. It's fantastic. It's great.
Because, I mean, you guys had played one game before that, kind of a dip game in between two Champions League games against Amazulu. So you were there with one game, no points, and everyone else is on like five games, 6 or 7 points. So very, very important for you guys against Bollockz City, are obviously struggling, and they've got no points after 4 now. And a 1-0 win, Roy Mahamudsa, wasn't it?
That's right. Great goal. Solo run, great low shot into the corner of the goal. I mean, he's going to celebrate that one for a long, long time, I'm sure, Roy. But happy for him. I think he deserves it, and put in a great performance again.
So are Pirates going to change their kind of motto? The back to black was the motto. I'm talking about back to Roy at the moment. I mean, I think that's your new Pirates motto.
Yeah, that's the away jersey. It's Roy. Yeah, but yeah, no, you never know. If he keeps on scoring, you never know.
Yeah.
It could happen.
No, mate, it was just good to see, like you say, good to see you guys on the board. You're miles behind everyone else. If you win all your games in hand, of course, you go top of the table by, I think it's something like, you could go, if you won all your games in hand, you go top of the table by 4 points after 5 games. But it's going to take a long time to get those games in hand out of the way. Very, very tough task for Orlando Pirates this season, with having got through to the group stages of the Champions League brilliantly at TP Mazembe and put out that Zambian side. I can't even remember their name now. It wasn't Zamalek, it was Zipabolo or something. And then, mate, then you get... Roger, I've got to take you through this. I've been talking about this all week. You get 7 points in your first 3 games, then you get done by Zamalek in Egypt, then unlucky on the cabbage patch in Delisi in the Congo. Darren Scott's just walked past. He's just come in the office and said, "Well done, Roger," to Orlando Pirates for still being in the running, for winning last night in a game that a lot of people might have missed, because Bollockz City, bottom of the table, you just expect Pirates to win that, and you had to, pressure on you. Then on Sunday, Roger, simultaneous kickoff in Group A of the Champions League. There's you and Al Ahly, the reigning champions, great side from Egypt, and at the same time, Leopards playing at Zamalek. Roger, are you all au fait with Sunday's kind of scenarios? Are you quite confident that you know exactly what needs to be done?
Absolutely. It's if I'd said to you 6 months ago that we'll be playing in the last game of the group stages to qualify to the semi-finals, you probably would have laughed at me at the time. And I think for us, what we've achieved so far, and to get to this stage of the competition and giving us a realistic chance, we've done extremely well. So, we've got to enjoy the moment. We've got to know, what's expected of us, and what to expect from Al Ahly. They're a great team.
Yeah.
And and enjoy the moment. It's going to be tough for sure, but it's great to be at this stage and to play against these African giants, and get results, and to be in the position where we're at. It's been great for us. So I certainly hope that we can continue to carry the flag and put up a good performance against a very good team. So it'll be fantastic for us and the players and everybody else who's been a part of it, and it's been great. So I just certainly hope that we continue.
Of course, the point is that you beat them at the Alguna Stadium. You beat them away next to the Red Sea. What's that now? About quite a few weeks ago now. Then they were fasting. Then Ramadan was on, but lots of South African players fast as well, and there are ways around it. We're now looking at a situation, Roger. If I can just briefly, I've been on to CAF. I've been on to all kinds of people this week about this. If you win, no matter what Leopards do, you go through, because then a mini league will be formed. All results against Zamalek fall away. You guys become the group leaders for winning, even if Leopards win, if Leopards lose, and then you go through as group winners and play Coton Sport from Cameroon. Is that your understanding?
That's correct.
Yeah,
that's
good.
100%. We got to win. The only other option we have is if we draw and Leopards lose.
Absolutely right, mate.
So a draw, we still got an outside chance.
I need to explain to people that if both you and Leopards draw, in some ways it looks like you might go through on goal difference, but then again we come down to this head-to-head thing, and unfortunately Leopards would, on head-to-head alone, would be ahead of you guys. And
that's right.
That makes things unfortunate. and essentially, if you lose, even if Leopards lose and you lose, the same thing applies. Where Leopards will go through on head-to-head if both of you lose. So, absolutely right, Roger. You have to win. Leopards, it doesn't matter.
Or draw.
A draw might be enough.
Yeah, we've got to worry about our own game and obviously try and beat a team that doesn't really need a result to go through. So it sometimes makes it more difficult because they'll be relaxed and just sort of play their game, and sometimes more difficult to play against. But if they needed a result, it might have been different. But it's difficult to tell. But at least we are home against a team that plays good football. They won't park the bus. They will play as well. They let you play. I must say, one thing about Halali, they let you play as well. They play as well. So, we're looking forward to it. I think these teams kind of suit us a bit more, and we've got to rise to the occasion. And like I said earlier, we got to, we know what's at stake, and we've got to, enjoy the moment and have a go.
Absolutely right, mate. I mean, the funny thing was that there were some internet sites, quite reputable ones, saying that Zamalek still had a chance if they won their last game, and Al Ahly needed another point to make sure of qualification. But of course, that's bollocks, and because Al Ahly now
there's a little bit
there's
a little bit more into it. I think if you're in a position like Al Ahly right now, they will be looking, what is better, first or second.
Yeah.
They're probably looking at it and saying, well, maybe if we come second, we'll play the Tunisian team.
Yeah.
It might be
Esperance. Esperance a bit special, I'm afraid.
Esperance.
Although they didn't win the league last year. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, if they win the group, they've got to go to Cotton Sport, which is not a great place to go to. So you might have them thinking, second could be better than first. There's a lot of things that come to play, and I think what we got to do is just put everything aside. We've just gone game by game and just try and, right now we need a win and try and, give it our best to win the game and take it from there. For first or second, we'll see after that.
Now, I've had a lot of people ask me about Andile Jala's shoulder on Twitter. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, look, he had a horrible fall last night. He hurt his shoulder, there's no doubt about it. He felt like it dislocated and went back in. So he's obviously going to be in a bit of pain today. But after the game, he wasn't too bad. He felt pretty comfortable. But you never know, the next 24, 48 hours are always crucial with these injuries. But I think you'll be all right. I think he'll soldier on, and there's nothing with a bit of treatment, whatever, that one helps, and he'll be ready to play. I'm not 100% sure, but it looked that way last night.
Brilliant, mate. That's exactly the update that we needed. We had lots of people asking about him. Jali remains for me. I know he came on briefly, didn't he, for Bafana against Botswana, but he remains for me one of the best midfielders that this country has produced in the last 6-7 years, and still young.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's one thing about Andile Jali is his ability to recover the ball. I think if you look at the stats last year in the PSL, he had the most number of steals, just about doubling everybody else in his position, and he wins so many balls, which is great. He's got this unbelievable ability to read the game and just sort of he steals balls from the opposition, which is great to have. And obviously his ability, his passing, his decision making on the ball is also great. So nice to have a player like that.
Oh, nice! It's fucking brilliant, mate. To have
Speak
players
of
like
injuries.
So I've got Comfort Keswa, who is an Orlando Pirates fan and the best radio producer in the country, and the best hair, and he wants to put something to you.
Roger, speaking of injuries, how is Nchumayelo's injury coming along?
All right, both Nchumayelo and Collins Besuma wore soccer boots for the first time this week.
Yeah.
And got onto the pitch, and they did some light work with the ball. They're basically doing a lot more work in the gym, but they're not fully into training just yet. They still got to be they're still doing recovery work and rehabilitating work, but they are now training on the pitch with the rest of the team. So I would say in about a week or two, all depending on their fitness, they might start being eligible and available for selection, but all depends how quickly they recover their fitness now.
That's good.
Excellent. Thanks, Roger. We need this kind of stuff. We get all these things on Twitter. People begging to know what Orlando Pirates can throw at Al Ahly.
Not a problem.
And great stuff.
Yeah, those are the only two really that were on our injury list. Everybody should be okay, and Andile Jali is the only other one from last night.
Yeah.
and that's it. Hopefully, I don't have any surprises when I get to training at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. So put me right here, Roger. You're training in the afternoons this week. Normally, football teams train in the morning mainly, and you're saying you're training in the afternoon to kind of get your guys used to it. The afternoon kickoff on Sunday at the Orlando Stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at the rest period. One, we played last night, so it would have been better we need to train this afternoon. We need to have a look at everybody. So we decided that it would be best to give them the morning to rest. As you know, after the game, you don't really sleep that well. You probably go to sleep sort of quite late because you're still agitated.
Yeah.
And give them the morning to rest a bit more, and then come in the afternoon when there's a lot longer after the match. The training today is just it's a regeneration and a lot of ice baths, a lot of stretching, light jogging and juggling, and there's not really much they do. It's just a recovery session. And then obviously tomorrow we decided to come back again in the afternoon because we want to get used to the 2 and 3 o'clock kickoff as it's warming up a bit.
That's right.
We want to get more acclimatized and get used to to those conditions, and to play at Orlando in the afternoon, 2 games in a row. I don't think Pirates has ever done that. They always play in the evening.
Yeah.
So it's also important to get used to the surroundings in the afternoon and make it like your home, and feel like home.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're trying to do.
Roger.
And also your body acclimatizes to the time of action. You get used to training, to working hard, in the afternoon, and sort of your body starts getting used to that.
My last question for you, Roger. As a person, I've got the Mole here, who's our British kind of underground expert. We watch Champions League every night.
There's a lot of those. Yeah.
There's a lot of moles in England. A lot of molehills in Tbilisi as well. We won't talk about that pitch. The point being, we watched the Champions League this week. It overshadows just about everything in football, the Champions League. It's been a great 2 days of Champions League opening action. Every ground full. You never see an empty seat anywhere in the Champions League. Can we put out a message to Orlando Pirates fans just now, which I'll put back out on video later, and I'll do something for the New Age tomorrow, trying to encourage people. It's only £40, I've checked it on CompuTicket. Trying to encourage people just this Sunday, break your routine, get out there. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff or a 2 o'clock kickoff, Rog? Do you know? Because it's 2 o'clock on some sites and 3 on others.
It's a 2 o'clock kickoff, but funny as we speak, I saw an advert this morning at 2:30 advertised on television. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a 2 o'clock kickoff. So we're still planning for 2 o'clock.
Yeah, you're planning for 2 o'clock. I thought it was 2 o'clock. I saw someone today say 3 o'clock on SuperSport Football. So, what is your message to the fans? You got the most crucial game in terms of continental competition for Orlando Pirates since 19 Mark Fish, and we're looking at a situation where the fans have to turn up. Is that right?
Absolutely. I think everywhere we've gone in this Champions League campaign, the crowds have been unbelievable. Of course, barring Egypt because of the incidents they've been having and the security problems. But I mean, Tipi Mazembe was an unbelievable experience. There was 25,000 people all dressed with the same jersey, sitting in this magnificent stadium, and backing their team. From the time we took a pitch walk before kickoff, we just got blown out of the stadium, right up until, I must say, about 10 minutes after the end of the match, when they eventually started clapping us off.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable how they get behind their teams and they support the teams. And to be honest, this weekend, I don't think it's just Pirate supporters. I'd love to see South African football supporters, back in the team.
Brilliant, mate. That's exactly the message that I needed from you. We'll get that out there. We'll say to people, can't we make Orlando like I think it was in the 80s, Roger? I don't know what you thought. When Bush Bucks and Amazulu used to come up and play at the Orlando Stadium, I think it was called the Super Stadium then, there was a real atmosphere in Soweto, and I just feel like it's become a bit middle class, and football isn't the be-all and end-all. Let's get out there on Sunday. Let's cheer, whether we're Pirates fans or not, let's cheer our club, our South African club, into the semi-finals of the African Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely, and I certainly hope that we can put up a performance, that will match the support that we get. I think that's going to be key. We've done very well. We've played some good football, and I think that's key for us. We've got to do the right things, play the football we know how to play, and with a lot of effort. And I think with all that, the result will come.
Brilliant. Roger, the very best of luck, mate. I'm always fucking twittering you needlessly, before and after matches, because I get very caught up in what's happening.
100.
The Champions League, it would be great, wouldn't it, for us to be there, and maybe to even have Chiefs and Pirates in that. Imagine next year, mate.
It would be nice.
Yeah, Chiefs and Pirates in the Champions League.
It would be great. It would be great.
Great stuff.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks so much,
okay,
mate. And speak to you
mate.
soon. Good luck. Cheers. Bye. Roger de Sá. It's always great to get Roger. I mean, you always have to call him a couple of times, but he's such a good bloke to talk to. He knows the game. I was out with Deshi Backtower last night, and he knows Roger very well. Two goalkeepers, and as we all know, goalkeepers are generally completely crazy. But Roger, I thought when Roger got this job at Orlando Pirates, having been quite loud at Wits, famously with Benny McCarthy. I don't know if you guys remember that incident, the Telcom Cup final, when Roger and Eric Sinclair had a right go at Benny, and Benny had to go back.
Yeah.
I thought Roger's going to, it's going to be quite difficult for him to come from mid-table side, like David Moyes at Man United, isn't it? Your whole mindset changes, and you've got the pressures of Irving Koza, not the easiest bloke in the world to deal with, Screamer Chabalala. And here's Roger, on the verge of the semi-finals of the Champions League. And like I said just now, despite how that table looks at the moment, if Orlando Pirates were to win all their games in hand, right now, they've only played 2, SuperSport Swallows and Amazulu have played 5. Those 3 games in hand, you add 12 points to that, they're top of the table by 5 points, Orlando Pirates. So anyway, I mean, that's all conjecture, but can we please, any football fan, that hasn't seen a game this season or hasn't watched the Champions League much, get out there to Orlando on Sunday. That will be a moment when, if they were to beat Al Ahly and get through to those semi-finals, I think a little moment of national unity. That's what I think. Let's get out there and support the Buccaneers on Sunday.
This is Bulls Visual Radio.